We celebrate Christmas here on the farm in Western New York. Preparing for the special day is as important to us as the actual holiday celebration. Included in the preparations is decorating the house, and one of the traditions I keep is to make a decorative wreath to hang on the front door of the house, which I make with materials foraged from the property. Will you please join me as I create this year's beautiful Christmas wreath? All right, the first thing I want to do is, I got some white pine over there. Where we are right now, we're on the north side of the property, north of the pond. So the road's over there, and the sheep are back over here. And I'm just gonna, I have some low branches on some of these that I need to get rid of anyways. So that's what I'm gonna do. When it makes sense, I'll trim branches so I don't have to bring the whole big piece into the house. I might take a trimming from this tree over here. It's not a Douglas fir. It's got kind of sharp needles, but it's a pretty green color. I'm going to grab a couple branches. Kind of at a stupid angle here, but it's just how I get the saw in there. Oh my gosh. Hello. You know, even if you just take one and tuck it on a picture frame, it's, you know, still nice. All right, so next we're gonna go back to the south of our property, back past all the sheep pastures. There's this little horseshoe we created, a path. And I saw rose hips out there yesterday, so I want to go get some of those. Hopefully they're still there and the birds didn't get them, or the deer. So let's go. There's our pond. Sebastian's breeding group over there. And they're a nice big pasture. Prettiest color. So look, apparently these roses are invasive. However, they generate these really, really pretty rose hips. And there's thorns. So I don't feel bad since these are invasive, apparently. There's a nice clump. Because they are food. But they'll add a nice little pop of color to my wreath. Ow! coat provides a good suit of armor, but that one got me. Ow, 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 ow. All right, you beastly stuff. Okay, got them all. Looking good. That's everything here. All right, let's keep going. This is the ewe pasture. This is where they spend the winter in this small little paddock right in the front of the property. There's a couple of birch trees that we brought over with us when we built the house here. And I'm gonna get some of the little, there's like these reddish, real thin branches that are really pretty. I think I'd like to work those in. So we're gonna go get some of those. A few little sprigs. Yeah, I can see the red. It's more like a burgundy, but it's pretty. So I'm gonna grab a couple branches from this. I think it's a juniper. It's got yellow on it. I think it might have some California name. But look, it's got these really cute white little somethings, buds at the tips. So now I have some Doug firs on the other side of the house. We'll just grab a couple bottom branches from them and then I'll be ready to make my wreath. These are ones that I planted from like little sticks. I bought like 50 of them. And now I can't even, I used to decorate them, put lights on them all. In fact, I think that there's a couple that still have the lights on. I couldn't even, I have to get like a cherry picker to get up there. I like this one. I also like this green one. I think I'm gonna get these are shorter prickly needles. This has got like a yellowish. I've collected all the materials from our property, as you saw. So now what I need to do is transform all of this beautiful natural stuff into a holiday wreath. And the first thing I'm going to do is just cut them all up into small manageable sections of 6 to 8 inches. To do that, I got to find my clippers. And I'm going to start with the rose hips. I've got this little branch here. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut these into a pile here on the table. Just like 6 to 8 inches. Now the downside with these rose hips is that we're going to have very prickly bits. And then any stalks like this, I just set aside to go into a compost heap. So that was the rose hips. Here's this beautiful blue fir branch. So I'll just cut that up. I'm actually going to cut that over here. Sabrina's my helper over there on the right. And Trixie is the gray cat that just came through the doorway. So with these branches where there's Ys, I always do to the base of the Y, and that you can use them then for each of your sprigs that you, that's actually long enough to be its own. Then there's the pretty white pine. So just, again, with the white pine, I make sure I have enough of a little stalk. That's our Tabitha in the center under the tripod. To wrap it up. You'll see what I do in the next step, and it'll make sense as far as how I'm doing all this here. Here's Trixie, also known as our correcting cat. She's our senior cat at roughly 14 years of age. Okay, and then I got some of these birch branches that'll be pretty little accents that stick out. So just a little bit longer of these because I'm going to have some extended bits. I can always cut them as I build the wreath. Smells really good here right now. Okay, then there's this big, huge, enormous branch of juniper, which is probably going to be the bulk of the wreath. And that's our little Gandolph. There's so much of it. Eating the birch branch. So now I have a good assortment of different types of greens. That one's a little too long. So now I'm going to sort them. There's the white pines. There's some birch. And then create sprigs with combinations of different bits of greenery and nature. So now I'm just going to take a little bit of each, maybe 3 per sprig. Look quick, there's Marty, our black cat, on the right. And I'm going to ensure that the rosehip thorn is surrounded by other greens because they're sharp. Then I'm going to take my florist wire, which you can get on from Amazon or whatever, or any basic craft shop. And it's this is 26 gauge. 3 or 4 wraps, nice and tight. Cut it as close to the edge, and there is my sprig number 1. I put absolutely no effort into, trying to construct a design or whatever. I just put them together. One thing I will do though is if the greens have a side, so for example, this particular green, there's a bare side and then a lush side, I do make sure that they're all facing roughly the same way. All right, so this time I'm going to take a juniper, this green, and a little sprig of birch. And I'm going to continue in this fashion, wrapping up 3 sprigs of the materials I have here. And I'm going to it's going to end up being like 30 or 40 of these sprigs. So I'm just going to keep working here and just enjoy. That's a big hunk of juniper there, but I think I'm going to go with it. I'm going to live a little. Ow. I can't get both of those rose hips to stay. Let's see, what if I nestle it in between? And then I have to rotate that so the green side, there's like a pale green side and then a nice green side on these greens. I just want to make sure I have the richer color facing all in the same direction. Okay, so let's get the frame of the wreath, and we're gonna start the process of wrapping the wreath. This is a wire frame, 20 inches. All right, so what you do, where's my paddle? You take your wire, florist wire paddle, and you lay down your first green. Take a look at it to make sure that the side you want facing outward is facing outward. Then I just set my thumb on the wire against the frame. You can loop that around a couple times and then begin to wrap. and let the paddle unravel. I usually wrap a couple times. It's pretty secure. You don't have to be real rigid or tight with your wrapping. And then you just start adding greens around the frame. And I alternate the direction that I set them in. I'll show you what I mean here. So this one's going that way. The next one I'm going to send this way. And I caught the base of this one with the wire just to kind of bring it back in so that you don't have little stalks that don't have green sticking out. You'll see I checked that to see there's the pale side and there's the nice colorful sides. So ow, ooh, just pricked myself. I don't think I'm going to do rose hips again. So as I'm working on this, I'm just thinking about, ow, holidays past. I'm thinking about, actually, thinking about you. I'm thinking about the people that support the farm in all the different ways. Just watching and enjoying the content that we share, and those of you that sort of come out and make yourselves known with a comment, which is always nice. I didn't cut that many rose hip branches, but I was able to get quite a bit incorporated into this. Pretty happy. Ow! My hands are really sticky right now, so you're going to expect to be washing your hands for a couple times to get all the sap out properly. You know what, I'm one nice sprig short, so I'm just going to make up one quickly. Or maybe that's where I'll put the bow. What do you think? What do you think? So there it is. This is the wreath made from materials harvested from the farm, from the property. And I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you have a wonderful holiday. And again, thank you very much for supporting our channel. Thanks for watching this video, and I hope you can come back soon. So I want to show you the last thing I do before I hang the wreath on the door. And that is I take wool balls, usually ones that didn't come out very well, and I will hot glue gun them to the back of the wreath so that there's a nice felt pad between the door and all the scratchy wires and stuff that are on the wreath so I don't scratch my paint. I'm going to show you how I do that. So I got my wreath face down, and the balls, see, like this one had a lot of dirt in it and stuff, so I'm not going to sell that as a little ball at the festival. And this one would make a really fun puppet. It's got a bunch of mouths and stuff, but not a good dryer ball, crafting ball. Okay, so now I'm just going to take my glue gun and just load it up. Stick it on there. It smells terrible.